What's up, guys, and welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. K. Knight, here to give you a proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comics and comic book characters. And you already know what it is. Comic book characters you may or may not know about, and we are still in spooky season. So, today we are going to be talking about James Worthington Gordon Jr.
Crouch! Junior.
Or J.J. Gordon, who is the son of James Gordon, who is the commissioner for GCPD, and his first wife, Barbara Eileen. And J.J. Gordon is not only a psychopath, but he is a serial killer. So in his early years, we really only saw him 2 times. It was during Batman Year One and Batman Long Halloween. And at that time, he was living with his mother in Chicago while his father was doing police work. Now, as a child, he exhibited all of the signs of being a sociopath. And that is not good. And on top of that, he was also suspected of killing people who taunted him. So he was very much suspected of killing bullies. I feel like I should feel bad. He ended up going to Gotham City as he got older, but subsequently disappeared. And this is where he went on his very, very long killing spree. Just imagine being a serial killer and your father is like the police commissioner for the city that you decided to come to. Imagine. Now, as JJ continued killing people, he realized that at some point the law was going to catch up with him. So he stopped killing people for a second, and he had put himself into a program. And inside of this program, he was going to be testing a new experimental drug, which would help treat his condition of being a killer. And also get him to condition his brain to show empathy. Something that he's not capable of. Now, the program did help for a little while, but he realized through just being in the program that empathy was actually a weakness of his, and it did not further his mental cause. So he decided to alter the drug to stump empathy and promote apathy. And in doing so, he just became more complacent in the fact that killing is what he's supposed to do and what he should do and what is right for his mind. Now, he had ended up seeing Batman on like a televised program. It may have been the news. And he realized that it wasn't actually Bruce Wayne, but it was Dick Grayson. So he ended up going to Gotham City again to confront him. Back in Gotham City, Jim Gordon gets a call from Harvey Bullock and tells him to go to the Gotham City Aviary. So when Jim gets there, Harvey's talking to him and just like, you know, friendly chat. And he's like, so the aviary cages are all automated and they are controlled from the control room. And there is some really disturbing footage that we need for you to see. It's going to be disturbing not only for what happens, but for who's doing it. So, of course, they take Gordon up there to view the security cameras, and a person who looks exactly like JJ, because it is, has gone through and killed all of the owls in the aviary. Now, it is said later on that that was supposed to be a foreshadowing to the Court of Owls, however that was supposed to fit, but you know, I didn't expand on that further. So JJ went through and killed all of the owls in the aviary, and Jim is looking at this footage and he's just like, no, that's not my son. It can't be. My son's not crazy. Right? Wrong. Your son is a fucking psychopath. So this, of course, is troubling to him because he just found out that his son is a fucking psycho. And he starts having these nightmares. And the reason that he's having these nightmares is because he's having these thoughts going back to the past of all of these cases that went unsolved of murdered children. Around the time where JJ would have been in the city. Side note, I'm not really sure what it is about serial killers or killers in general, but they go for the children. It is so odd. It is so weird. What is happening? Why do you hate kids so much? Like, I'm not like a children person, but good fucking lord, what is wrong with y'all? So thinking back 15 years prior to him becoming the police commissioner, when he was moving up in the ranks of GCPD, he came across a case of 8 murdered children, and they had dubbed this serial killer the Peter Pan killer. And what he was doing was abducting the kids and then killing them. And he was able to apprehend the Peter Pan killer before he abducted JJ. Now, 15 years later, the Peter Pan killer is actually about to get out of prison, but Gordon wants to go talk to him and ask him why he didn't go through with abducting and killing JJ. And so when they're having this conversation, the Peter Pan killer actually says, I wasn't going to take him and then kill him. I was going to kill him then and there. And Gordon is just like, what the fuck? Why? He was like, because when I came into his room, he had this like creepy ass fucking stare. And he was just staring at me when I entered the room. It was very ominous, very creepy. I didn't like it, and I was gonna fucking kill him there and then and there. See, you know, creepy children just, oh my god, children of the corn. He then also reveals that he had killed a young girl who was friends with Oracle prior to coming to Gordon's house to get JJ. Now, Gordon realizes that his son may have been innocent in the situation because, according to Babs, she was thinking, or she just knew for a fact, that JJ was the one who killed her friend. But after hearing this conversation, or after having this conversation with the Peter Pan killer, he's not so sure. So he ends up meeting Babs for coffee to explain to her his findings. However, she is sticking with the fact that she thinks her brother is the one who did it. And he's trying to explain to her that after the Peter Pan killer left Oracle's friend's house, he could have taken her keys, which make no sense, and dropped them over at the Gordon's house when he was trying to abduct JJ. And the reason that she thinks that JJ is the one who did it is because the next day he was playing with her keys. Not too sure why he would be taking her keys, because what do you need them for? You've already killed her. But anyway, so she's very adamant that it was JJ, and of course she leaves her father with some lingering questions. And as he's sitting there contemplating, his son comes from the other side of the cafe and sits down to explain to his father why it is that he's returned back to Gotham City. And he also apologizes for his theatrics in the aviary. By theatrics, you mean murdering a bunch of owls. Sure. He then informs his father, while they're having this conversation, that his mother sent him to Arkham Asylum to get a psychiatric evaluation, and they diagnosed him as basically having psychopathic tendencies. Clearly. So they prescribed him this medication to help his emotional imbalance, and he's been taking it the way that he should, so all of his problems should be solving themselves. Jim, please. Now, also in this super random yet kind of planned conversation that JJ is having with his father, he says that he overheard the conversation with him and Babs about her convictions about him, and he's just like, I swear I've never killed anyone. JJ. Come on now. Be serious. So they still have like your old conversation, and JJ ends up leaving. And he says as he's leaving that he hopes in the future that his father can forgive him. Sure. So continuing on, Jim goes back to his apartment. When he gets to his apartment, he sees a long trail of blood. So he, of course, being the detective that he is, follows the trail, and it leads to JJ's old room. And it leads to the closet in JJ's old room. And inside the closet is a bully that has been murdered who used to bully JJ when he was little. And at first, Gordon was having all of these, my son is simply misunderstood and not a complete and total psychopathic murderer, to, I think we have a problem. Now, during this randomly planned conversation, he does say to his father that he has volunteered at Tompkins Clinic and that he's doing a really good job. So, of course, after Jim discovers this dead body, he goes straight to the clinic to confront Leslie Tompkin about his son, and you know, be like, well, everybody was fucking right about JJ being crazy. And he like demands to know where JJ is, and she's like, well, you know, he is like a model volunteer. Like, we have him do nutrition runs for the babies, and all these babies come from like poor families and things like that, and he's just really great. So of course he didn't want to startle Leslie with the information that he just found, and the body that he also just discovered. So he's like, as soon as he comes in for his shift, call me. No hesitation, no nothing. Before Gordon leaves, he of course has a tour given to him by Leslie of James's office. So he goes in, and you know, he's just looking around, and she's boasting about how great JJ is. And so he actually finds the pills that he's supposed to be taking in one of the drawers, and the drug is called diaxamine. And so, you know, he takes one of the pills from the vial, puts it back, thanks Leslie for the tour, and goes to see Babs at Court Tower. He gives the pill to Babs and is like, I just want you to run a few tests. Of course, Babs is just like, you know, I knew something was going on, but she didn't want to rub it in her father's face because he's still trying to hold on to some kind of hope, some, you know, like shred of something for his son, because of course that's his son. So, you know, she didn't want to be like, I told you so. Oh. So she does run the test, and she finds out that diaxamine is actually still being tested and hasn't even really officially been rolled out by the FDA. So he wants to, Jim wants to try to convince JJ to go get some blood work done to make sure that they are taking the pills. But she does confirm that the whole entire reason for diaxamine is to create empathy and deal with the psychotic tendencies. Now, James leaves Barbara to her work, and she breaks down the components of the pill and discovers that he has re-engineered the pill to have a reverse effect. So instead of promoting empathy, it is promoting apathy. So she's like, what the fuck? But the dosage for it is literally so low that it would not affect an adult. So she sends all this information to her father, and he's trying to figure out what exactly is the point of making the dosage so low if you know that it's not going to affect you. And it hits him then. He's in charge of the nutrition runs for the babies. So he's taking that super low dosage pill that he is in, like, reverse engineered, and putting it in their baby formula to ensure that they have psychopathic tendencies when they grow up. So here we are coming just like full force, and as he's like assembling a task force to get his son, he gets another call from Harvey Bullock that the Joker has escaped and that he's apparently going to go kill Barbara Eileen at the Gotham Grand Plaza. And so Harvey and Jim go there. the task force he assembled go to the clinic and wait for JJ to get back so that they can apprehend him. When they get to where Barbara is at the hotel, they go in, there's a light in the bathroom, and she's in the tub with a blood smile on her face in Joker fashion. Now we have two problems in the mix. So Harvey calls Oracle, Barbara, and is like, hey, this is what just happened. She in turn calls Dick Grayson, and they go to the lab at Wayne Enterprises, and like, Jim is obviously pissed off and upset, and he wants the Joker's head. However, Dick and Babs point out that the Joker would not have been able to find her this fast if he literally just escaped. So the correlation's not working, but he does say that he is going to go find the Joker. So he does a sweep of Arkham, and the Joker is secreting, like, is sweating, and like Joker venom is in his sweat. They did do anti-Joker venom on Barbara, and they found out that it's actually a derivative of the original. Anyway, so he finds the catacombs that Victor Saz used to use to escape from Arkham, kill people, come back as if he never escaped at all. And that's where he finds the Joker in a dark corner, mumbling to himself about disappointment. And he starts trying to interrogate the Joker, but the Joker's like, first of all, you're not even Batman for real. Relax. And two, I don't hire people to do my dirty work. I do my own. Because why would I want you to take credit for my fun? And the real Batman would have figured out that I didn't do this, because I'm literally still sitting here. And so they then figure out that somebody framed the Joker after they attacked Barbara so that the commissioner would kill the Joker. Just all kinds of fun going here. I wonder who it could have been. Ugh. Now, Bullock takes Barbara back to her hotel. Oracle takes her back to her hotel, and Gordon is with his ex-wife, and when she wakes up, she sees Gordon and immediately starts panicking and screaming, and they have to sedate her. And he realizes that JJ gave his mother the Joker venom as a way of torturing her and paying her back for having him institutionalized when he was younger at Arkham Asylum. And then he wanted to also manipulate his father into killing the Joker so that he could have that death on his conscience as well when he finds out that Joker didn't actually do anything. And so at this point, he's realized that his plan to manipulate everything is falling apart. So the only one that he has left to torture is Barbara, Oracle. And so after Harvey drops her off at her apartment and she goes in, JJ closes the door behind her and they enter into this conversation, and she basically talks about how psycho he is and how depraved and how like he's gotta go. And he's like, you know, you're the only one who's ever actually seen me for what I really was, and I really like that about you. I'm still going to like try to kill you, but you know, I really like that about you, sis. And and it just goes on into a back and forth conversation, and she's basically just like, you killed these people to satisfy as well as justify your psychotic tendencies when everybody was really just a victim. You only wanted to start something with someone or try to find flaws in someone so that you could justify and satisfy these things inside of yourself, and you're absolutely fucking insane. And he's just like, bravo, sis. Oh my god, you are a genius. I'm so glad that you figured that out, because our dad is dumb and never did. Now, Babs does hold him there and distract him long enough for Nightwing / Batman and Jim to show up, and unfortunately, Jim has to not only arrest his son, commit him to Arkham Asylum, but he disowns him as well. And I felt bad. So he doesn't have any powers, regular human, but he is a serial killer and there's not really a confirmed count. They also said towards the New 52, while he does make a cameo in Arkham Asylum, they want to bring him back in. So they're trying to figure out a way to bring him back into the DC universe in a little bit more of a creative way. If anybody knows serial killers, DC definitely does, which is a different conversation that should probably be had. But so this character, I love this character. There's not a sad background on like somebody killed his dog and now he has to kill others. Like, he's just plain evil period. And he has really good parents. There's nothing evil about either of his parents or his sister. And he's just crazy. He is a psychopath. So he grew up like this. Barbara Eileen noticed it and tried to do something about it, and it essentially almost cost her life so much later. And I just love characters like that, where there is no like immediate reason as to why they are evil. They just are. And that is really what spooky season characters like these should be about. So I'm going to try to find more of these so that we have a bunch. I'm also trying to find some from Marvel, but I don't really see any. So we will see. Do I want them to bring this character back? Kinda, yeah. He was tough and enjoyable. The writing was crazy. So we shall see. But that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office, and I will see you guys later.